Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the AoE 2 Wandering Squires Cup Semifinals. These are the actual semifinals this time, not last time. We're accidentally called the quarterfinals the semis. But here in the semifinal, we've got, once again, Tenfingertom in the teal versus his opponent Red Clifford in the orange. Now, before we get to our usual commentary, as I am once again joined by Hiram and I, I do want to explain a little bit what happened, because unfortunately we've got some just frustrating dynamics at play here. They played the games. We're casting the games. But in between them playing and us casting, AoE released a patch. And what happens whenever you update the game is the replays tend to go bad. Fortunately, we were able to save one of the games. We were able to cast one of them. But all of the others are unwatchable. So what I've done is I've picked out this one game, and the winner of this match is the player who ultimately won the whole series, right? So this is the game. We've got Tenfingertom in the teal playing as the Magyars. His opponent, Red Clifford, in the orange playing as the Franks. Hiram, what do you think about that matchup?
You know, in a lot of ways, it feels like heavy cav versus light cav.
Mm-hmm.
And in that kind of matchup, I'm just looking at the chat here real quick.
Yeah, I did talk a little bit with Tom afterwards after I got the replays, and apparently there was a situation where Tom accidentally picked a civilization that I want to say it was banned, or like he had chosen the Civ during the Civ drafting, but then Tom had banned it out, or he'd already used it or something like that. He accidentally chose the wrong Civ, and so there was a little bit of confusion. It was all like, I don't know if it was tongue-in-cheek per se, but it was all in good-natured,
Okay, so
kind of
no actual like serious allegations of cheating were played.
No.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So anyway, as I was saying, in a lot of ways, it feels like heavy cav versus light cav. I think that technically, like given the straight up fight, heavy cav would win that. You would think, but since light cav comes in, earlier in the game, the opponent that's better able to leverage that might gain an advantage. Some of the rank bonuses are just not at play, at least not early in the game. They get a bonus to berries, but berries are a significant distance away from the town center. It looks like, no, maybe not. You also get a bonus, a reduction to the stone cost for the castle, but once again, stone's a little bit more on the fringe. There's nothing terribly in the center. So if it goes all cav early, I give it to the Magyar. If it stalls out to the castle age and that's where we begin fighting,
a Vil goes down to the boar on Tom's
side.
That. Yeah.
I give that to the Franks. Of course, you know how I feel about the Franks. They're not a bad Civ. They're one of those annoying Civs, and Magyars are kind of the same way, where you know pretty much exactly what your opponent's gonna do, what the person fielding that Civ is gonna do in the opening minutes of the game.
Right.
And sometimes it feels like no matter what you do, you're gonna lose to that play anyway.
Right.
So
that's why sometimes as Magyars, I really enjoy actually opening with archers, because they do get a line of sight bonus on their archers. That's their team bonus, and just from the sheer fact that it's not expected, you can do a lot of damage. Right. But you're exactly right that both of these Civs have very predictable strategies. I think that the Frank player, that castle bonus shouldn't be underestimated, because this is one of those maps where there's going to be so much fighting over the center island, right? So if you can take advantage of those cheaper castles, get more castles up to just secure domination of the center, the Franks are in a very good position. But as far as their military composition goes, it is so obvious.
Right.
I think that the Magyar have a little bit more of a compositional flexibility than the Frank player might. It's just too tempting as a Frank player to always go scouts or knights or what have you.
Yeah, exactly. So. Losing along those lines, losing a Vil early, Tenfingertom, it's gonna hurt. Yep. It's really gonna hurt because this is, at least on my read, this is a blitz to the cav, right? And this puts Tom significantly behind on that food, which means his cav unless Clifford makes a mistake, his cav are going to come out a little slower, and that's
Right.
not just a villager loss. That's the difference between winning the scout rush and losing the scout rush, or it
Right.
can be.
Yeah, we do see, I mean, there was the one Vil lost to the boar, and then we also have 30 extra seconds of idle TC time. And so those things combined mean Tom is about 2.5 Vils behind Red Clifford. So, of course, the fewer Vils you have over time, it means that you're bringing in fewer resources. So, it takes longer to get your techs up. It takes longer to mass up your army. And that could make the difference. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. Early eco here. As both players... Now, you'll remember the last time Inundation came up. It was, I think Tom... Was it in the previous set or the set before that? I don't remember which one, but Tom had elected to build his town center on the center island, and his opponent decided to march out and build on the wood line, right? And we saw that Tom ultimately won that battle.
Right.
And I'm wondering if there's sort of within the tournament, a kind of meta that has developed where there is this sense now that it is better. Everyone realizes it's better to just build on the center. You get your villagers out faster. It's not that difficult, as we're seeing Tom over here, to kind of get a wood line established and defended.
Yeah, and defended. Now I have to say I think that's the right play.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to wall in a few Vils on wood, and it's easier to relocate your wood line than your gold line. There's 360 degrees of available fringe for you to place a wood line, and it's not terribly hard to wall a significant amount of wood in. Looking at the gold, however, it's going to be pretty hard to wall in a decent amount of gold without paying for it. Over here, I'm looking on the kind of on the southwestern slope. There's an area where you could put a lumber camp and a stone camp and wall it in with, it looks like a single wall.
Right.
Locating areas like that is a lot easier than...
Looking at Clifford's position, he's done similar... It's actually funny because he's not really walled in his Woodvilles like you're talking about, but you just finished saying it's so much harder to wall in the gold and all that. But we do see the beginnings of a kind of defensive wall near his town center, using the gold to at least establish some choke points.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it walling as much as funneling.
Yeah,
but you're right.
Right
Now, while we're on that subject, just real quick, I want to mention we talked about Tom's feudal being put behind, and then maybe his scouts put behind. He's actually going to be up to feudal almost a minute ahead of Clifford.
Wow,
that's a big deal. That is a really big deal.
Right. It has me wondering. I mean, Clifford's got 5 on gold right now. Tom has 3. And Clifford has a lot more on food. I'm wondering if we're going to see like a fast castle from Clifford, or what the game plan is for our orange player here.
I'm going archery range. This is interesting. You already had a barracks. You don't need to build an archery range to go to stable. So you would only really build an archery range if you planned on going archers. Tom might be doing exactly what you said.
That would be fascinating, and I'd love it if he did. He is actually getting skirmishers out.
Okay. That is
there we go. Archers. So he canceled.
I also want to point this out. Tom just took down Clifford's scout horse. Obviously, the scout horse has no attack ability, but it did go down.
Yeah, and that's going to be important because if I move to Fog of War real quick, Clifford doesn't see the archery range, right? So this will be completely unexpected until the archers actually come out. And this has the potential to do some real damage.
Now, I also have to say, if you're going to go archers, you should really have more than 4 on wood. 11 on gold is fine, but you're going to run out of wood very quickly going archers.
And here he's kind of having you're already having to walk away, but now they really have to kind of go through a maze just to get to their location. That's kind of rough.
Yeah.
Both players are doing a good job keeping their town centers busy. I mean, since I last commented on it, there's been next to no change here. We do have a little bit of idle TC time from Clifford, but both players.
35 seconds versus 22 seconds. That's good TC control right there.
Yep. This is Well done.
Especially because this isn't 2,000 elo, players.
Right.
So for this elo, that's pretty dang good. Clifford walling in his wood line. Looks
Not
like
just walling, but stone walling.
stone walling. I kind of respect that.
Yeah, he says gotcha, and he's right. We have Tom's scout horse is going down.
Yep. Tit for tat, and yet Tom's got archers on the villagers. He's not microing them.
No, micro.
No. Yeah, right. Micro.
Yeah, there's
But yeah.
So one archer down, and that's. I think you kind of got the dual mistake of not having enough archers, and then on top of that, not having your fletching upgrades. And
Agreed.
those two things combined.
On the flip side, however, that's a significant amount of
Yes.
idle time between, 10 villagers idled for, 10 seconds apiece. Well, that's like losing a villager.
Yeah, here, both of these archers going to go down. Without, we see Clifford about to hit Castle Age. Tom has next to no food.
Yeah. This is going to leave Tom in a really rough place. He's just gotten a market. He's going to be able to buy the food he needs, and there we see it right here.
Yep.
Going to buy his way up to Castle. Good for him.
He needs to. Yeah, that's exactly the right move at this point.
But Clifford is going to be way ahead, and it's going to be knights versus a couple archers.
Notice, by the way, it was 12. It's now 9 villagers on stone for Clifford. So you know what's coming.
Yep, we know exactly what's coming. It's that classic. I know exactly what you're going to do, and and there's nothing I can do to stop it feeling.
Right. Well, I mean, and we actually see Tom has a vill lead right now. Now, that may change by the time he actually gets up to Castle, but I think if he had just been able to maintain that feudal army, maybe get some more archers out. Yeah. Just having that army on the field means that Clifford can't drop a castle without at least some sort of response.
Agreed, and I think that archers is a good counter to a castle drop. If you're going knights, if you're going scouts, then it's pretty easy to house wall in your villagers or just stonewall in your villagers, and there's nothing you can do to prevent that house from going up or that castle from going up. You go archers, well, villagers are going to go down.
Notice Clifford has 2 scouts out, and he's going to find the wood line.
He also has 3 knights out, and he's deploying them.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. 3 knights out, 2 more on the way. Yeah, right now, momentum appears to be in Clifford's favor. Tom needs to get out some anti-cav, like spearmen, pikemen.
Forward castle drop for Clifford, and that's going to range the town center. Tom also doesn't have the military to push that back. Archers notwithstanding, he could have 5 of them, 10 of them, and it still probably would go up. Tom goes for a watchtower counter to the castle. I don't think he's going to get it up in time.
No.
It's certainly not in time enough to push back 12 villagers from building a castle. That castle will go up. There's not much Tom can do about it. Villagers begin to fall.
It was a great idea, just a little slow.
If you get it up in time, a tower drop is a great response to a castle drop. If you don't get it up in time, What I would like to see Tom do here is monks. He needs monks.
That's an amazing idea. Yes, especially because you have so much gold on hand. I mean, right now it's only 300. It's not that crazy, but
a couple monks makes the difference between being able to deal with this cav board and not. 2 conversions turns this fight around, especially if it's the right 2 conversions. Instead, he goes cav archer. I kind of like it. You need a ball of them, though, and I don't think he has time to get a ball.
Yeah. No, I think you're exactly right. I would love to see a monk play here. Getting those conversions off is amazing. And it's sort of the opposite of the cav archer, where, like you're saying, you need really a massive ball of them to be effective. With a monk, 1 monk gets 1 conversion. 1 conversion is like, a death and a half, 2 deaths for Clifford. You need responses now.
Yeah. You can lose a monk per conversion and still come out ahead.
We got this feudal force here. I don't know how much they're worth, but they will go down right away.
Yeah, especially with the knights moving in.
Right.
I appreciate the I had not enough men to defend, so I attacked.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I love that.
Step into the punch mentality is exactly what you want to see, especially at this stage where the momentum can shift very quickly.
Yep. But we see 698 stone from Clifford, so I'm thinking we got another castle probably up sooner than later.
I would expect to see that for sure, especially since he knows pretty much where the wood line is. It's not.
Right.
It wouldn't be hard for him to range the wood line or just lock down massive swaths of the map. And if you look at what's really under control versus occupied, Clifford has.
I do like the
maybe a good 20. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I like the compositional idea here of a couple of spearmen to push off the knights, and then the cav archer focus down the villagers.
Yeah,
I like that. And good micro here.
Yep.
Boom.
I don't like he stopped microing. It looks now. It could be just an attention shift, and that's possible too. You called it another castle, and it will go up. We'll see it before it goes up, but he's not going to be able to stop it.
Right. At least not surprised.
Not at this rate.
And something I'm a little surprised by is Clifford. He had at the time only about 6 or so vills on food. And it's gone up to 15 now, so he has a food advantage. But both players, good on gold. Tom has a lot on gold. It's great. Clifford focusing in on stone, but those key kind of baseline resources, food, wood, not so much there.
Now, on the one hand, looking at what's happening to Tom's mainline town center, it's gone, and he's put up 2 more. One is already up and the other is on its way for a total of 2, which would equal Clifford. And it seems, 2 town centers, 2 is 2. But if you look at how much of that gold is claimed by that castle, you called it, unless Tom is able to push Clifford off this center, Clifford has claimed maybe 60, 70% of the gold available on the map.
Right.
Maybe more. That's a big deal.
Yes, I agree. Both players almost even in the vill counts. And that's that's impressive because oh, wait a minute. We actually do see some some kills. I didn't see where, but I saw the number pop up. So we have Tom with 12 vill 12 kills total. Tom has 4 vill kills and he's lost 6 vills.
Yeah.
So this is okay, the cav archers go down. And this is what's actually concerning me, maybe at least as much as anything else, is the units, those cav archers are really only effective in a big ball, and we keep seeing them getting picked off 2 at a time, 3 at a time.
Right.
And if he's not able to get the numbers up, then and as I say that, now we've got 7 here in the south. So we got a fight, I think, that's about to break out.
Tom needs to make a play.
This is a key moment here.
If he can, if he's able to stop this castle, that's a big deal.
Yep.
And this is exactly where you want to have archers versus a melee unit. You have a melee unit, a house wall or a quick wall can turn that around. Tom is going to have to micro to keep his archers alive, and that's going to be hard because while he's microing, his opponent can just move his villagers back. Right.
Now I love it. He is building up those archer numbers. This is what he needed to do. And he's successfully pushed Clifford off of a 3rd castle, which is important.
Clifford is making a tech switch, or not even really a tech switch, but he's putting up an archery range, it looks like. And you know what that's going to be. That's going to be skirmishers. Skirmishers supporting knights. Good for Tom.
This is huge.
Yep.
He needs to secure some gold.
Monumental, yeah. This is the, I guess, the nodal point. If Tom gets pushed off of the center island entirely, it's just a matter of time. If he's able to hold on, he might be able to bait Clifford into an exchange of resources and units. Oh, no.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is the moment, like you were saying.
Yep.
And I can hear your voice in my head right now.
Yeah. You know, it was a painful lesson when I learned it, and I have never forgotten it since.
Oh, this is... Oh, Oh.
Lord Doubt would be proud, but unfortunately, Tom, it doesn't look like he is going to get that castle up.
Yes.
He does have 11 archers on the field, and he is harassing with them. He's not just waiting.
That's true.
Waiting to pick a fight. So there is that, but now look at this.
Yep.
Clifford is able to bring his villagers right back. Tom's moving his archers around, but that castle is probably going to go up.
You're saying Clifford's castle.
I'm sorry, yeah. Tom is probably going to... He might be able to keep his cav archers alive. Tom moving in 4 villagers. He's got 93%. If he's able to get it up, that would be huge.
Yeah, now, so he's already sacrificed a lot of vills. I think he will get the castle up, but it seems like he's sacrificing quite a bit of his army to make that happen. Oh,
that's brutal. He is sacrificing his army. He loses all of his cav archers. He's down to his last
99.87. There it is, 100%. Okay, it does go up. But at what cost?
At what cost, indeed? It's now 38 vills to 55.
Yeah.
And, you've got pikemen, but you've lost your entire cav archer army. He's got 5 more queued up.
Yep.
So, he does have the wood. He does have some gold, so he'll be able to do something.
Right.
But those those knights, I won't say they'll make short work of the castle, but if you don't have murder holes, those knights will be enough. And now look, you've got a ram coming in.
Exactly.
Good play.
Exactly. Yeah, Clifford's doing very well here. I think playing to his civilization's strengths very effectively. We're in a situation where, when that battle started, Vill numbers were even, army numbers were even.
Yep.
Now Tom is down. It was 20 vills. Now it's something like 16 villagers, right?
Yep.
And half the army size.
Yep. Exactly.
Once again, I said it before. I think Tom claimed it back, but now once again, I feel like Clifford has the momentum here.
Yeah. Shout out to, or not shout out, but point of note for anybody watching. That is why you always house wall in.
That's what I was going to say.
Have to build the whole house wall.
Yeah.
But at least get the foundation in place if you're ever going for a forward castle.
So
it takes 2 to 5 seconds, and it's the difference between getting the castle up.
And what we just saw there was the perfect example. When I was saying earlier, guys, I was talking about, I can hear Hiram's voice in my head. Hiram is telling me all the time, hey, like house wall your villas in your castle. All Tom had to do is put like a palisade right there between the gold and the, and his villas. Put another one maybe right there. Just a couple of places to block off, areas of approach, and he gets that castle up before the knights can get to him. And that means all those villagers are saved. That means that he doesn't have to sacrifice his army. He's in a much, much better position at that point. As we see Clifford dropping another castle on Tom's woodline.
If you're Tom right now, you've got to be pretty close to losing ideas. Mm-hmm. You've got, if you look at area controlled, not just claimed, but controlled on the map, roughly 40% of the map is absolutely controlled by Clifford. Tom's going to go for a forward castle. I don't think this is the right play.
You're talking about on the island?
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is? I don't think it's a forward castle in the sense of I want to kind of beat my opponent up in some way. I think he's just trying to get a lock on some gold. He's been pushed off of so much. He's trying to claim something.
Right.
And I think that's what that is, but I'm worried.
Yeah, I agree that that's what that likely is, but think about that for a sec. That's 650 stone in order to claim, 5 piles of gold maybe.
Yep.
Okay, that is a huge trade of resources. Mm-hmm. If you want to claim some of that gold, it doesn't have to be a castle. If you want to be sneaky about it, wall some vills in. But as it is here, again,
one
he
vill.
Sets the castle, 4 vills.
Boom.
He had 3 or 4 there. It was 1 at the end, but
right.
That castle's going to go down. Tom can delete it and recover some of those resources, but not all of them, and the castle will go down.
I think that Tom's hope here is the Cav Archer. He's already mastered Cav Archer. He's got to hope that they are strong enough to deal with whatever knights Clifford punches out, as Clifford is now going up to the Imperial Age.
Yeah. Now, the saving grace, in a way, the saving grace is that he's been teching into Archer. He's not put all his stuff into the Cav. On the flip side, He's got two tiers in the Cav infantry upgrade, which is resource efficient. You're upgrading both infantry and Cav, and your Magyar. You're probably going to use that at some point, no matter what happens. So fair, but those resources right now, since all of his entire army is based in Cav Archer right now, except for a couple pikemen.
Right.
Those resources would have been better spent in either more Cav Archers or upgrading to Archer armor, say.
Yep.
The other thing about the Cav Archer that I don't like is it has no ability to deal with castles.
Well, sure. Just like a regular archer. I mean, any of those stationary defenses will just...
And Clifford has staked out so much area with castles that no matter how many Cav Archers you go and no matter how many knights they kill, at the end of the day, you could be losing one Cav Archer to every 4 knights, and you'll still come out behind.
A 4th Frankish castle going down on the center island.
4th on the island, 6th total. So, and this is what I mean. Clifford doesn't have to push back the archers. He doesn't even have to chase them down. He doesn't have to do anything with them. He's just got to stake his claim via castles and let Tom, ride where he will.
Yep. We see Clifford researching, and I'm actually really impressed by this move, researching Elite Skirmisher. So his thought process is, I think I know what Tom's unit of choice is, whether that's the Cav Archer, and then probably going Spearman behind that.
Right.
And if I research the Elite Skirm upgrade now and start going in that direction, even though I'm already winning, and he probably has a sense that he's winning this, right? But even then, even though I know I'm winning, I'm going to counter what he's doing.
Right.
And just sort of ensure that
it's
I
the right
maintain
mindset.
What I've got. Yeah.
I mean, look at the score. It's 7,000 to 3,700.
Right.
And I want to say, props to Clifford. He's not playing like a man who's surrendered. I'm not Clifford.
Mean, Tom. Right.
Yeah,
no,
he's not playing like a man who's surrendered to fate. So good for him.
Right.
I still think at this point in the game, 2 monks could change the tide, or at least help a lot. Especially because you're running low on gold. Poor Tom. He doesn't get the wall up in time. The knights get in the back and start picking off villagers.
Yeah, they're in. So now we have knights in the base.
Yeah, this is a classic airspeed, altitude, and ideas situation where if you're Tom
realizes it.
What's left?
Calling
truly, what's left? There it is.
Yep. And this was, it just so happens that the one game we were able to cast were the finals of the tournament. So you have them kind of saying, good luck, have fun, with your future tournament games. So Red Clifford moving on to the finals of the Wandering Squires Cup G bracket. Tom has put on an amazing show for us over 3 sets, but now my vanquisher has himself been vanquished, and Red Clifford moves on to the finals. They were talking about at the end, as far as the whole Saracens thing. So I guess Saracens was the civ he wanted to pick against Franks, and didn't realize that Clifford had sniped them out during the civ drafting phase. One other bit of fun trivia he shared with me was that throughout all of his games, and of course he had won every set up to this point, he had always lost map 1. He always lost Nomad, except for this set. This was the only set where he won Nomad, the first map, and wouldn't you know it, that is the set that ultimately takes him out. Tom, great job out there, man. Well done.
So, question on the tournament then. So because he said, I kind of feel bad about your civ choice. So does that mean that his civ got picked by his opponent?
That is correct.
Or how did that play out?
If there's a situation where, accidentally, you sort of have violated the rules when it comes to a civ pick, then in the game repeat, your opponent gets to choose from among your civs. So the Magyar here from Tom was actually Red Clifford's choice among the 2 options, and I don't know off the top of my head what the other possibility was, but
right. But Tom probably didn't want to light cav versus heavy cav.
I don't know. Magyar was not his choice. I don't know if that's what he would have gone or if he would have picked something else, but certainly it worked out for Clifford in this case.
Yeah.
And Clifford, I got to say, really well done. I think you played this perfectly. just using the Frank's strengths. And I don't think, I think that at this tournament level, with these sorts of, with people, watching your games, paying attention to your strategy, your style, I know Hiram was talking about the Franks, you sort of know what's coming and that sort of thing. But I think that this was just a perfect example of how to play Franks. And you played it very, very well. That's not any slight in my book that it's a Frank Civ that wins this set, for Clifford. So really well done. I'm looking forward to casting the finals for you. This was only a single game, but fortunately the finals were played on the latest patch, so we will be able to cast the entire final series. So keep an eye out for that. Hiram, you got any last words?
No, just, Tom, I wanted to say thank you for letting you follow us, or for letting us follow you on your journey.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for being the target of our casting.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy casting. I enjoy watching you play. You're a good player. You know that, though. To both players, GG, well played. They did. They certainly did. But other than that, I think it was all covered with the cast.
Good stuff. All right. Well, that's it for me here. This is the Iron Kaiser, along with Hiram of Tyre, signing out.